Alright, so now we are going to go ahead and move to the tail. So you are going to begin with color number C, or this teal color. And this one, we are just going to start with one of those adjustable knots. And then we are going to chain 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then 20. Alright, so this tail part starts at the waist, so you want to be careful not to twist the chain, but you're going to go ahead and slip stitch into that first chain so that you create a ring. And you just want to make sure that that chain does not get twisted, because it will be a pain to work with if it's twisted later on. Alright, so for row 1, we are going to work 2 single crochets into the same stitch that we joined in. So here's that first chain. So 2 single crochets in there. And then 2 single crochets into the next chain. Okay. And then we are going to do 1 single crochet into the next 9 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. So then we want to put 2 single crochets into the next chain. It's 1 and 2. And then we are going to put 1 single crochet into the next 9 stitches. And 9. So when you are done with that 9th stitch, we are not going to join it. Instead, we are going to take our beautiful stitch marker and we are going to put that in that last stitch, because we are back to working in a spiral formation. Alright, So now we are moving on to rows 2 through 8. And 2 through 8 is just putting one single crochet into every stitch. So I would recommend, once again, going ahead and pausing that video, or I'm sorry. So I would once again recommend pausing this video and then going ahead and doing rows 2 through 8. And then we will meet back at row 9. For row 9, we are going to do 2 single crochets together. And then we are going to put 9 single crochets, 1 in each of the next stitches. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Let me just go ahead and recount those real quick. Okay, I can still count, so that's good. Alright, so after you do those 9 single crochets, then you are going to do another decrease. So 2 single crochets together, and then you're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 9 stitches again. Okay, so for row 10, we are just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Row 11, you are going to do another decrease, and then put 1 stitch or 1 single crochet in the next 8 stitches. After those 8 stitches, do another decrease, and then 1 single crochet in the next 8 stitches again. My kitty just seems to want to join me a lot for these videos. That's like, I think, the 4th time, if I'm counting correctly, on and off the camera that she's decided that she is going to be my friend, I guess. Alright, so then for row 12, after we put our stitch marker back in here, then we are going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around. And in case you didn't notice, we are actually going to do like a gradual decrease now. So in order to make it less, make it a more even decrease, then we're putting those rows of just straight single crochets in there. Okay, and now for row 13, we are once again going to start with a single crochet or decrease. So 2 single crochets together, and then 1 single crochet in the next 7 stitches. And then do the decrease again. Then 7 more single crochets. Okay, so row 14 is another row that we're just going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch around. Okay, row 15, we are going to do another single crochet decrease, and then this time we are going to do 6 stitches in between. Okay, then do your decrease again. Okay, and then do the next 6 stitches. Okay, then for rows 16 and 17, we are just putting 1 single crochet into each stitch around. So for 2 rows, this time we're just going to do 1 stitch and no decreases. Alright, so for row 18, we are going to do a single crochet decrease, and then we are going to do one single crochet in the next 5 stitches. Okay, 4 and 5, okay, and then we are going to do another decrease like that. Then do 5 more single crochets. Then for row 19, we are going to just put one single crochet in each stitch around, and there should be 12 stitches by row 19. And it is very important that there are 12 stitches because the next row we are actually going to do an increase, and you want to make sure the last 2 rows have the right number of stitches in there. So go ahead and put your stitch marker back in. For row 20, we are going to work 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So by the time that you're done with row 20, you should have 24 stitches. And this is going to give us the ability to put the tail on, or the fins, I mean. Then 23 and 24. Then for the last row of the main portion of the tail, so row 21, we are going to put 1 single crochet in the first 3 stitches, so 1, 2, and 3, and in that 4th stitch we are going to put 2 single crochets. So by the end of the tail, or the end of row 21, you need to have 30 stitches. It's always good to just double check when you're done and just make sure that you have those. Because when we do the first fin and the second fin, we got to make sure that we have it right. And then in that last stitch, then you are going to put 2 single crochets. And you do not need to worry about adding that stitch marker back, because we are going to take a long tail so we can see that our tail is starting to take shape. So now we are going to move on to the fins. And in order to do the fins, we are going to take and fold our piece where all of the little decreases are. First, of course, like normal, you don't have to do this. This is just what I prefer to do. I'm going to flip it inside out, just because I like the look of the inside better than the outside. Okay, so that's where the decrease lines are, okay, and then that's just a leftover tail, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim that off. Okay, so now let's move on to the fins. Okay, so for the first fin, we are going to take the same colored yarn, yarn C, and we are going to attach this right in the middle. Oops, I'm so sorry. We are going to attach it right in the middle of the marked stitches. So if you remember, we have a total of 30 stitches in this row, so then we just need to find the center. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So the center should be about there. Okay, and we are going to, go through both layers and attach the yarn right there. So, okay, so now we are going to take and do 1 single crochet in all 14 of the stitches until we come around back to that other side. So 1, 2,
my goodness, okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
alright, so then we want to take and place our stitch marker right in that last stitch, because we are going to do these fins in a spiral. Oops, I got all sorts of little ends here. Alright, so for rows 2 and 3, we are just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Okay, for row 4, we are going to start out doing 2 single crochet together. So we're going to do a decrease. My stitch marker doesn't get in the way. Okay, do a decrease. Then we are going to put 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we are going to do a decrease. Okay, and then do 5 more stitches. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then for row 5, we are going to put 1 single crochet into that first stitch, and then we are going to decrease, 1 single crochet into the next one, decrease again, 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and decrease. Oops. Okay, just want to make sure I got both loops. Okay, and then 1 single crochet and decrease. So we're almost done with this the fin for the one side. So that's super exciting. Okay, and then for the last row of this first fin, this last row is literally all 2 single crochets together. So we're doing a decrease for this entire row. So for the last row, you should have had 8 stitches. By the end of this row, you will have 4. Okay, and then there's that. Alright, so you have finished the first fin of your tail. Now you're going to fasten off and you're going to leave a long tail because you are going to use that to finish closing up the tail and sew it in with a yarn needle. So go ahead and leave that space. Alright, and then go ahead and pull that closed, and then go ahead and do the other side, and then I will show you how to finish the tail part. Okay, so now that you have finished your other fin, you are going to once again leave a long tail for sewing in, and you're going to pull that part out. Oops. You're going to take your yarn needle, and then you are going to go ahead and put that yarn in there. As you can see, I have already done this fin, so now we are just going to go ahead and do this one. So you have 4 of them left, 4 stitches. So we're just going to put through 1 and through 2. We're going to pull it tight, and then I just like to go through that other end just because I like my mermaid fins to be pointy. But see, it adds that nice cute little point there. And then the only thing that is left with this part of the tail is just weaving in your ends. So I am just going to come down here, and through the whole process of doing this mermaid tail, I have, as you saw, I just went ahead and basically wove in the ends as I was crocheting it. So that really saves a lot of time. If you are newer to crochet, then you don't have to do that, but the more proficient you get at crocheting, then the easier it becomes to just really sew in the ends as you go. There are some things, of course, that you can do that with, but with most things you can sew them in. Then you only have, the ends to sew in at the very end of the whole project. Okay, so then when you're done with that, just, of course, pull that tight, snip it, and then stretch it out so it hides in the center. Alright, so that is the tail portion. So now you can choose to do the waistband. I'm going to go ahead and do the waistband, but I am not going to do the tutu or the skirt. So after I finish with doing the waistband, that is all I'm going to do for this tutorial. If you would like to learn how to do the tutu or the skirt, just leave me a comment below. They're pretty simple. There's only about 5 or 6 rows in each of those. But you know, you can always just let me know, and then I'll just do a quick tutorial later on how to do it. So for the waistband, you have the right side facing you. And so going to take, and you're working along the opposite side of the chain that we started with, okay? So we are going to be working that way instead of when we were crocheting it, we worked this way. So we are going to take our crochet hook with the color B, which is this lavendery purple that was in the center. And we are going to draw up a loop in any stitch that we want. I'm going to choose to do it in the back. So we're going to pull up a loop, and then we're going to chain 1. Okay. And so for row 1 of the waistband, we are going to put a half double crochet into that first stitch. There we go. And then we are going to put a half double crochet in each of the beginning chains around. And we are not working these 2 rows in a spiral, so we are going to slip stitch our last stitch to our first stitch when we get there. So go ahead and take and put half double crochets in each stitch around. If you want to try sewing in the end from our join, you can go ahead and do that. And we'll just go ahead and just fast forward just a little bit. then we are going to go ahead and slip stitch into that first half double crochet. Then for row 2 we are going to chain 1, and we're just going to put a single crochet in each stitch around. I'd recommend doing this as tight as you can because this is the end of the tail. So if you do the stitches tighter, then it will fit better. Okay, and slip stitch to that first stitch. Okay, so now we are done. We can fasten off and weave in our ends. So we're going to take that very nice and convenient yarn needle that we just set aside, oops, and then we're just going to finish off this band, and then we are done with making the pieces and parts. I have to say, of this pattern, I think that it is really awesome that you can like change her look. Like if you want her to be a mermaid, if you want her to be a human, like that's just really awesome to me. And that finishes the tail piece. So in the next video, I'll show you how to put all of the pieces that you created together and to make your mermaid, and then how to do the hair. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you like this video, and also to hit the subscribe button and the notification the notification bell so that you'll be notified of all of my new videos. Alright, I'll see you next time. Thank you again for watching. Bye!